This is the Clara Luper radio show, and today's show is being brought to you by Rainbow, and Rainbow is good to bread. Rainbow has asked me to take this time to say thank you. Thanks to those of you that have gone into your grocery stores all over this state and have asked for Rainbow bread. You know as well as I that Rainbow is good to bread. Today's program will be dedicated to different people at different times. The first part of this program is dedicated to Dolly Hall. Dolly Hall, a nurse at the St. Anthony's Hospital, has always been a supporter not only of KBYE and its radio programs, but also of the Soul Bazaar, Miss Black, Oklahoma City, and Miss Black, Oklahoma. One of the happiest days of her life was the day that she saw Mr. Talent USA. Dolly Hall, wherever you are, this is your show. It belongs to you, Dolly, so enjoy every moment of it. The National Business League presents a business workshop and banquet featuring George Sabaro, the author of Black Folks Guide to Making Big Money in America, Black Folks Guide to Business Success, and Getting Black Folks to Sell. For all of this information, you can attend the workshop. The admission is only $5. But when you purchase a ticket to the banquet at Alberta's Tea Room, Saturday, January the 13th, 1990, you will get all of this free. On Saturday, January 13th, in 1990, at the James Stewart Building from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., all at 1500 Northeast 4th Street. Now remember, on Saturday, January the 13th at 7:30 p.m. at 63rd and North May Avenue at the French Market Mall, you may be able to attend this fabulous banquet for only $20. Now, if you want to save some money, it's $35 per couple. The dreamer is gone, and in a few days we will be celebrating the birthday of Martin Luther King Jr., but the dream lives on. That dream is still living in each and every one of us today. Let's remember to rededicate ourselves to this great cause, inspired by a great man whose message will never die. Let us celebrate the birth month of Martin Luther King Jr. together. And it's certainly complimentary that the National Business League will present its first annual Martin Luther King Jr. banquet. And the keynote speaker once again will be George Sabaro, author of Black Folks Guide to Making Big Money in America. Mr. Sabaro will also be the speaker for the business workshop. We want to see you there. Bring plenty of business cards, because you will be among other professionals like yourself, and you don't want to miss out. And if you don't have a business card, just come on anyway. The Black Liberated Arts Center Incorporated has certainly filled a vacuum in this community. They have brought to us the best. And on January the 7th, 1989, you remember, they brought to us Thomas Carey. Linda Garcia will be here, the pianist, on March 25th, 1990. On January the 21st, Joanna Miller, the soprano, will be here. And January the 14th, you can't afford to miss Michael Woods, the composer. Yes, all of this will be brought to you through the Black Liberated Arts Center. If Dolly Hall was here now, she would tell you that the Soul Bazaar will be held at the Mirage Convention Center May 16th and 17th. What is the Soul Bazaar? It's a trade and industry show. For the past 21 years, you have attended and supported the Soul Bazaar, and we call upon you now to support the 1990 Soul Bazaar, which is called Soul Bazaar 90. If you're talking about fashion shows, if you're talking about talent shows, if you're talking about contests, you're talking about Soul Bazaar 90. I would like for you all over the state of Oklahoma to start talking about Soul Bazaar 90. the trade and industry show that has lasted for the past 21 years. Let's make it a big one, 21 years. When we think of the fact that Senator Porter will be leaving Oklahoma City, where he will be in California, we are a bit sad, and we should be, because we owe Senator Porter so much. For the past 22 years, he has practiced law in Oklahoma City. And on January the 13th, he will be moving to Los Angeles, California, to join his brother's executive search business. Senator E. Melvin Porter has made a contribution to this state. Let us just go back and review for a minute. Did you know that on the books and in the constitutional laws of the state of Oklahoma, laws that were written in the books concerning segregation, it was Senator E. Melvin Porter's political know-how that erased those laws. His leadership in the state Senate shall never be forgotten, nor his voice that cried out for justice and equality will continue to warm all of our hearts. We are so grateful to Senator E. Melvin Porter for the sacrificial years that he has spent in Oklahoma City. Dear E. Melvin Porter, from all of us that love freedom, justice, and equality, accept our thanks. And most of all, we thank God that he allowed us in our lifetime to hear the voice of an E. Melvin Porter. Many times you've heard him on the Clara Luper radio show. And many times you've heard Clara Luper and E. Melvin Porter arguing over basic interpretations. But never, never has our friendship been divided. And I want everybody to know that I consider E. Melvin Porter is not only a devoted friend to Clara Luper, but to all. And sometimes I used to tell E. Melvin Porter that he was ahead of his time. Because when he talked about freedom, he talked about an unselfish freedom. Freedom that has not been nurtured by those who demanded freedom only for one group of people. Thank you, E. Melvin Porter. I am so proud that you all have been very concerned about me and my welfare. Those of you that are black, white, Jewish, non-Christians and Christians and atheists have called me and said you were concerned about my welfare. And today I would like to say to you, don't worry about me. I'm going to be all right. And if by chance I'm not all right, just remember that Clara Luper told you that she was going to be all right. Alive or dead, I'm going to be all right. But in the meantime, you've called me and asked me, what did I think of the Ku Klux Klan's ad? I think that the Ku Klux Klan, under the First Amendment to the United States Constitution, had the right to advertise for members. And I would like to publicly today say to the Ku Klux Klaners, I'm not afraid of you. With your hoods on, I'm not afraid of you. But I would like to remind my brothers and sisters, wherever they are, that there are some other Ku Klux Klans that are not dressed in robes. Many of them are supervisors in various businesses. And many of them understand clearly a unique way to keep blacks down. Many of the Ku Klux Klanners will hide behind tests. Many of the Ku Klux Klanners are in classrooms, killing the dreams and aspirations not only of black young people, but of all. Then you're asking me to define what I call a Ku Klux Klan. A Ku Klux Klan is anyone who does not agree with the fundamental principles that all men are created equal. And when you look at me just because I'm black and say what I don't know, and I will be the first one to admit the things that I do not know. But then it seems to me that if you were a teacher and was interested in my development, you would teach me what I need to know. I heard Lady Ruth Hunter say one time that in the Oklahoma City school system we have, all children can learn. Signs all over the classroom, all over this district. But then Lady Ruth Hunter say all children can learn, but all teachers can't teach. Clara Luper reporting, KBYE Radio in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. In 1909, it can be a great year for you, but you might need some glasses. If you need some glasses, let's call Dr. A.L. Dow, 235-0536. Dr. A.L. Dow is certainly a warrior for freedom. How would you like for somebody to put a horseshoeing hospital next to your property? The city council answered that for Dr. Dow this week by saying it's all right with us. Many of the neighbors in that area that had talked behind the city council's back did not show up to express their views. And until people are willing to stand up and be counted, we are in serious trouble. The northeast side of Oklahoma City is in need of a united effort to eliminate apathy and to build a beautiful community. The Miss Black Oklahoma pageant will be held in Oklahoma City on June 23rd, 1990. On June 23rd, we would like to take this opportunity to invite you to participate in Miss Black Oklahoma. Now, what can you do? First, do you know any young lady between the ages of 17 and 25 that you feel can represent Oklahoma City, Midwest City, Spencer, or any city in Oklahoma? If you do, we need that young lady's name. 478-2103 is our telephone number. The first one to sign up for Miss Black Oklahoma 1990 is the lovely, talented Camille Phipps, Miss Southeastern Oklahoma State University, Durant, Oklahoma. Now, if you have a daughter, a sister, a cousin, or a friend, would you contact your friend and tell them it's time now to register for Miss Black Oklahoma City 1990? You can register by writing Miss Black Oklahoma, Post Office Box 11106, zip code 73111. Once again, Miss Black Oklahoma, Post Office Box 11106, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, 73111. If you would like for your child to participate in the Miss Black Oklahoma that will be televised by Channel 19, and you would like for your child to be a page or an escort, be sure and write us. Write the page program. Attention, Mrs. Cheryl Fowler. That's Post Office Box 11106. Remember now, 11106 73111. We do not discriminate because of race, creed, or color. And I will be back to tell you about other pageants that will be available. In the meantime, it's time now to think sports. And with all of the tournaments going on, we are very excited about the scores, and certainly I would like to congratulate Brian Wilson for a fabulous performance, and that article in the Daily Oklahoman was really commendable. And now with Shelley.
The results from the tournaments which were held on Friday. The first is the Ardmore Holiday Festival tournament for girls basketball. The Northeast Lady Vikings defeated Shawnee 56-51. Lawton defeated Southeast 46-33. El Reno over Ardmore 28-26. At the Jaguar Round Ball Classic, a boys tournament, Lawton Mac defeated Westmore JV 84-48. The Millwood Falcons defeated Guthrie 56-50. Westmore over El Reno 59-53. Enid over Putnam City 66-57. At the Putnam West tournament, the Northeast Vikings defeated Putnam West JV 84-56, Southeast over Ponca City 47-42, Moore over Stillwater 63-62, and Putnam City defeated Capitol Hill 68-65. At the Westmore Girls Tournament, Edmond over Enid 42-26, Millwood over Putnam West 35-26, and Guthrie over Putnam City 46-27. I have a special report. Dante Patterson won first place today in the state junior high school wrestling tournament held at Midwest City's Fieldhouse on Southeast 15th. Dante received a trophy and first place championship badge. Dante has won several first places during the year and in different cities throughout Oklahoma. This concludes today's sports report. It was brought to you by Merlin Hildreth. Merlin sells home insurance, car insurance, and life insurance.
I would like to dedicate this portion of the program to Dante Patterson, that wrestler. They tell me Dante walks out there and he grabs it or whatever it is and he say, okay, I'm going to knock it to the floor, and Dante is gone. Congratulations, Dante, and certainly you know how proud your Aunt Clara is of you. In fact, I would like to take you out for some good old hamburgers. I know you need some hamburgers in order that you'll be ready for the National Wrestling Championship. I'm going, so many of you call and ask me where am I speaking during the month of January. I want you to know that on January 10th, I will be speaking for the Black Federal Employees. On January the 11th at 6 p.m., I will be at the Oklahoma County Juvenile Center, where I will be the special guest speaker at the second annual Martin Luther King Jr. program. Next Saturday, I will be in Boley, Oklahoma, where they have invited me to participate in the all-out Martin Luther King celebration. On the 15th, I will be joining Roosevelt Milton and others in the parade, march to the Capitol that we have done traditionally, and I have been invited by Mr. Milton to deliver the welcome on that particular program. I've also been invited to spend a day as a consultant and a speaker at Bethany College, which is about 60 miles north of Wichita, Kansas. This is strictly a religious university, and it's going to be an exciting day. I am very proud. It's predominantly a majority school with about 15 minority students, but I will be adding some color to Bethany University, and certainly I'm very grateful to have that opportunity. I could go on, but I've got to remind you that I will be in Lawton, Oklahoma as a guest speaker for the Pan-Atlantic Council on February the 17th. Now, next week I'll be telling you more about my speaking engagements. Mrs. Hunter, are you going to Bethany University with me?
Well, you just need to give me a ring.
Okay,
so I don't see any reason why I should not go.
Well, I'm giving you a ring. I want you to go, and I want you to continue to go with me, because we've got to get to Peoria, Illinois, to that big wedding. Our Van Henderson is getting married, and we've got to be up there, so we might as well start making preparation for it. You know, the last wedding we went to, we flew where? How was that?
Oh, we went to Washington, D.C., to Calvin Davis's wedding, all the way up to Washington. And you know, I was regretting to go. But you kept insisting, so I said, I will go. That's the first wedding that I've been to where the wedding took place in 3 different states. Really, it was 3 different states. We've been Washington, well, I guess you want to call Washington State, but anyway, I'm going to say 3 different states. We were in Washington, D.C., and then we went out to another state, and then we went over to another state.
Virginia and Maryland, we did all of them.
So I said, oh, brother, this is the first time that I've been to a wedding, and each day something took place in a different city.
Well, one thing about going to weddings in different states, now, what we were in Washington, D.C., and in Virginia, and in Maryland, we can wear the same thing in Illinois when we go to Ivan Henderson's wedding. This is one thing I like about it. So if you get married out in California, Lady and I don't have to worry. Lady, can't we wear the same dress?
That's right, because we will not see the same people, so we just put on the same clothes. They will not know.
This is a Clara Luper radio show, and today's show, this portion of it is dedicated to Esther Watson. On the first Saturday, it's just a pleasure to dedicate my program to so many different people. Esther Watson always visits with Clara Luper, and I would like to thank her for that Christmas card and especially that Christmas inspiration message. Thank you, Esther Watson, and this part of it is your program. For the past 21 years, you have supported the Soul Bazaar. We have a contest that's known as Miss Soul Bazaar, Miss Junior Soul Bazaar, and our baby contest. Mrs. Lady Ruth Hunter this year is in charge of the baby contest, and now she will talk to you about the babies that will be parading in that big baby show and the baby contest. And incidentally, that show will take place on March the 15th, 1990 at exactly 6 p.m.
We will be having our baby contest this year, and I know all of the mothers out there are eager to get their babies in this contest for the Soul Bazaar. So all you need to do is give me a call. My telephone number is 427-3925. The number is 427-3925, and just ask for Mrs. Hunter so that I can get your baby in. Now you want to know how old, from 0 to 6. We're having all of those babies in this baby contest. So bring your little beauties out, because I know we have some cuties out there, and we're going to put them in a baby fashion show, and they're going to really gain the interest and the enthusiasm of all of the people that will be coming. So I'd like for you to contact me so that we can give you the instructions for this baby contest, because it's going to really be out of sight, because several mothers have already called me and said, when is this contest coming on? I want to get my baby in it. And I know they do, because a couple of weeks ago I went and judged in a baby contest.
Tell me about the baby contest. About how many babies were there?
Oh, they had something like, I would say, about between 50 and maybe 55 babies, and the ages ran from 0 to 12, and those mothers were there, and you talk about some cute fashion show on March the 15th, 1990.
Now remember, they'll be there March 15th, but the show doesn't. Oh, they're going to practice. You're going to practice them on March 15th.
Oh, but I'm telling them the Soul Bazaar will begin March the 15th. And then they're going to contact me, and I'm going to let them know what day that we will have the baby contest when I contact the parents.
Okay, all your parents can call Liddy, and what is that number again?
427-3925.
This portion of our program is dedicated to Alan Washington, who is really getting old. Alan Washington is about to be 20-something now, and I would like to wish him a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Alan Washington, wherever you are. Shall I know there are some other birthdays, and you may dedicate this portion of the program to some of your birthday friends.
I would like to wish a happy birthday to Katina Bowens, who will be 17 tomorrow.
Oh, Katina's really getting old. She will be 17 tomorrow.
Don Harrison, who will be 17 on Monday, and Bridget Hertz, who will be 18 on Monday.
Oh, my. Bridget, I would like to see you because I want to register you to vote. Those of you who are 18, I want you to call me at 424-3949 in order that I can register you so you can vote. Alan Washington, happy birthday wherever you are. Mrs. Hunter has just told you about the Soul Bazaar, the Soul Bazaar babies, which start from 0 to 6. Now I will tell you about the Junior Miss Soul Bazaar contest. That's from 7 to 14. If you have a child between the ages of 7 and 14, I want to make sure that you are understanding we want to start your child in the Junior Soul Bazaar contest. That's young ladies from 7 to 14. Now from 15 to 17, we want you to sign up for Soul Bazaar 1990. This portion of our program is dedicated to David Hall, who is certainly getting old. Miss Hunter, guess how old David Hall is?
You know David Lee Hall?
No, David Hall.
Oh, David Hall.
Oh,
that David Hall. I couldn't possibly guess that, Mrs. Luper.
Well, David Hall will be 26 years old on the 11th of January.
Congratulations, David Hall.
David has lived a long time, 26 long years on the 11th of January. And I'm dedicating this portion of the Clara Luper radio show to David Hall. Now, you have requested, and you just about made me do it, because for 3 years I did not have a Mr. Talent USA, and you fussed at me. You told me I was neglecting the young men, and now we are ready for Mr. Talent USA 1990. We will have the Junior Mr. Talent USA contest, and that's from the ages 7 to 14. Then we will have Mr. Talent USA from 15 to 25. Those of you that would like to participate, we certainly would like for you to call us, and you may call us at 424-3949 or write us, Post Office Box 11106. Yesterday I received a call from Houston, Texas, from Mrs. Lanier, who said that she wanted her son to be in Mr. Talent USA. Letty?
Oh, that's wonderful. All the way from Texas.
Oh, we have several that have signed up for Mr. Talent USA. I remember one from Killeen, Texas, and next week I'm going to read those names for you. But in the meantime, she wanted her son, whose name is Turner Lanier. He's 8 years old. He's a promising young man with great talent. He lives at 12718 Coronas Lane in Houston, Texas. And she wants to fly him up here to be in the Junior Mr. Talent. We are so proud of those of you that understand that if we are going to develop our children as well-rounded individuals, we're going to have to start early. And certainly Mrs. Hunter has been involved in child development and early education, and I would like for you to tell our people the advantage of putting your kids in contests and all of that.
It's been my experience that if you start putting your children in activities where they can express themselves, they will mature and really be dependent and worthwhile citizens for our America. The only way that they're going to be able to advance, the only way they're going to be able to progress is because the parents will help them. And parents, without your help, your child cannot succeed. Sometimes we say it's too much, this costs too much. But when they get in trouble, we go down there to get them out. That doesn't cost too much. So now, because of some of the things that we do have to face, and because of some of the non-positive things that we have in our community, let's find a way to put our children into some positive things. Because through exposure in positive activities, educational activities, and those that we have just mentioned today on the radio program, putting them in it, they will be recognized, they will be seen, and so many times they get wonderful opportunities, big jobs, and big performances that they are get to do. I'm thinking about little Chris when he started just with us in the NAACP and how he had advanced. Now, if little Chris had never attended the NAACP, I doubt seriously, in my thinking, that he would not have been discovered by the Star Search. But little Chris Eason is making a success because his mother put him in an educational activity where he could be seen and where he could express himself. And because of this activity and because of the expressions, I want to give you an example so that you know how our children can grow and develop. And I want to share this about Dante. You know, I wasn't so interested in my son going into wrestling because I thought that was a terrible thing. And he had some little complications, but he called a man all by himself and asked the man if he could come and wrestle because he wanted to wrestle. And he told the man about his difficulties. And when the man told him, yeah, come on out and I'll help you. And he went out and he helped him. And then when others asked him to change over and switch over and come on wrestle with him, he said, no, I can't do it because you didn't help me. I called this man and I told him my difficulties and he told me to come out and he would help me. So I'm proud of the man that helped Dante because of the successes is due to the man that said, yes, come out, Dante, and I'll help you. So I'm saying to you parents out there, give your child a chance. Sure, it costs a little money, but for the expense that you put into an educational thing, it cannot weigh up to the expense that they incur in the non-educational things. And these remarks that I have gotten is because I have read Clara Luper's book, Behold the Walls. That was by Clara Luper.
I am so happy that you told that about Dante. And I'm really proud of the teacher that said, come on out, I'll help you. And if education is to do anything, it must uncover unhidden talents. I was in a conference last week and we were talking about schools, and I said this, that one thing I like about Langston University, because at Langston University they take the students, many of them have been picked over. Some of the big universities have said to students that did not score as high as others, I don't want you. But Langston University stands with the spirit of the Statue of Liberty and say, give me those that are tired and worried, and I will educate you. I never shall forget how dumb I was when I went to Langston University. I had never seen an amoeba. I was a graduate of Grayson High School in Grayson, Oklahoma, where I graduated in the top 5 of my class. However, there were only 5. But in our school, because of the financing of black education, we in my senior year were able to get a microscope. But the county did not have the money to buy any lens. So lens to us was just a word. And when I went to Langston University and went in Mr. Hamilton's room and he let me look in that microscope and I saw those little objects, amoebas moving, I was really excited. And Langston University said to me, Clara Luper, I don't care where you're from. I want to educate you. And when I go out to Langston University now, I just beam. I look at those young people. And then I have followed young people from Langston University. I've seen them grow and develop. And in Oklahoma City today, if you take all of the teachers that graduated from Langston University out of the Oklahoma City school system, it would be a pity. Not only in that era, but in business, in finances. Langston University, and maybe this portion of our program, is dedicated to the students and the graduates of Langston University.
And not only educationally did Langston teach us, Clara, they taught us courtesies. They taught us kindliness, friendliness. Those were some of the aspects that we learned at Langston. I never shall forget in the mornings when I would be walking trying to get to the building to go in, and this man out here, he doesn't know that I feel this way, and he may not ever know that I do. And my professor's name is Mr. Seabrook. I don't care where you saw Mr. Seabrook, how many times you saw him on that campus, he spoke to you. And that gave you a feeling that they do want me. Someone here cares. And I'm wondering in our high schools, and in our elementary schools, and in our grade schools, are the teachers speaking to their students? Are they speaking to the adults that come into their building? And you can surely tell an adult, Shelley, from a young person because you can look at the hair and the hair is white. And you know you do not teach any white-haired students in your class. You do not have to know that person to speak to them, and that was one thing they told us. The least that we could do is say good morning. It wasn't important that the person that you met and said good morning to turned and said good morning back, but that you greeted him with a good morning. And speaking is such a small thing. It's just like a smile. Because a thing that goes the farthest toward making life worthwhile, it costs the least and it does the most. It's just a pleasant smile.
This portion of our program is dedicated to Mrs. Johnny Jones, who graduated from Langston University and who taught school not only at Dungy Elementary School, but at Spencer Elementary School. At Langston University, I remember a song, High on a Hill with Royal Mean, where our hopes and our dreams lie. Out of that university came Ada Lois Scipio, who opened the doors of universities to all people, regardless to race. Suppose Ada Lois Scipio had not gone to Langston University. Suppose that for a minute. You never would have been able to enter those other universities. And I think every student at Oklahoma University, Oklahoma State University, Bethany, and going down the list should owe a debt and should pay it to Ada Lois Scipio by being the best in that university. And as I look down the list here, the changes that have been brought about, we have had more changes that have come from people from Langston University than any other university. Suppose Clara Luper had not gone to Langston University, do you think I would have had the courage to lead the sit-ins from 1958 to 1964? Letty?
I really do not. And you know, Mrs. Luper, I picked up a piece of paper. I don't know where I got this article from and how I didn't put the date on it. You know, you'll just cut and piece an article out of a paper, and you don't realize that you need to write the name of the paper and the date that you cut it out so that you will know. And on this article, I must bring it one day and let you see it. It said Mrs. Clara Luper was the first person to start the sit-in. And I said, this is history. Suppose we did not have a Clara Luper, then we would not have had the beginning of the sit-in movement.
This is a Clara Luper radio show, and today is the first Saturday of the year, and we are dedicating our program. We would like to dedicate this portion of it to Mr. Blaine of the Blaine Air Conditioning, located at 1432 Northeast 23rd Street. The telephone number is 427-6603. Tomorrow, the NACP Youth Council will be celebrating its annual Emancipation Proclamation Jubilee Tea. We would like for you to be at Freedom Center from 4 to 6 p.m. We are working to build a monument to blacks, and we need your support. Now, that's support for the Black History Monument. We contacted you through your churches, and certainly we would like to thank the loving St. James Baptist Church for $200. We are looking forward to getting a report from your church. You have given us your word. You have promised to support us, and now we are waiting on you to respond. And speaking of waiting, you don't have to wait when you go to Circle J's Mini Market and Ice Cream Shop, filled with things that you need. Sundaes, malts and shakes, barbecue sandwiches, hot and cold sandwiches, all at Circle J's Mini Market and Ice Cream. And you can get the best ice cream in Oklahoma City. You can get the Blue Bunnet ice cream, all at Circle J's Mini Market and Ice Cream, 1600 Martin Luther King Avenue. You need to look good, and Letty and I have been teasing each other about going to weddings out of the States where we can always wear the same dress to the wedding. But if you need your clothes clean, go to Bright's Cleaners, 4905 North Martin Luther King Avenue here in Oklahoma City. That's Bright's Cleaners, 4905 North Martin Luther King Avenue in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. The Exotic Plants and Flowers, located at 3671 North Everett Street, is open today. In fact, it's open every day except Sundays. It opens at 9 o'clock and does not close until 6. If you need some flowers, and this is a full-line florist, you can buy flowers anywhere in the United States. If it's anniversary time, yes, birthday times, weddings, remember all at the Exotic Plants and Flowers shop located at 3671 North Everett Street here in Oklahoma City. Every day is Sweetheart Day. They have special roses, and the roses are $1.50. The telephone number is 424-7659. You can also buy tropical fish, 6 for $1. This portion of our program is dedicated to Nala Jewel Phillips. Nala Phillips, wherever you are, with your smile, with your love, with your dedication to your customers, to your friends, and most of all to your church. You talk to Nala 5 minutes and she will let you know that she is an African Methodist Episcopal member. What is all that, lady? What does that mean?
Well, it means exactly what you were saying, Mrs. Luper, but the history behind it is that it is a Negro church, and the person that we really look toward, and we appreciate A.A. Allen for organizing this church. And it was because of a difficulty. He walked out because he could not serve in a white church. So he decided that I'd walk out and I'm going to start a church where my people can come and worship and say the things that they want to say to the Lord and about the Lord.
Well, that was Richard Allen. Richard Allen. Y'all love Richard Allen, don't you? In the African Methodist Episcopal Church. Now, the Jew will let you know that she is a AME, and she belongs to Avery Chapel AME Church. Well, Nala Jewel, now that you know it, and this portion of the program is dedicated to you. You are somebody. Don't let anybody fool you. And that's why, if you need your checks cashed, you can go to Cashland Check Cashing Company, located at 1945 Northeast 23rd Street. The telephone number is 424-1222. Today's program is a very special program. This program is dedicated to Mr. Leroy Parks. Mr. Leroy Parks, the businessman, the man with a plan and a program. Mr. Leroy Parks, this is your program wherever you are. If you are discouraged and you want somebody to say, let's keep going, talk to Leroy Parks. That's why I'm dedicating this part of my program to Mr. Leroy Parks. Mr. Carl Carbon say you will have a happy new year because you will buy your home, and he has some bargains. Why don't you call Mr. Carbon at 427-8311. The Sooner Bus Company is located at 4725 Southeast to 59th Street. The telephone number is 672-5051. If you are planning on going on a trip, be sure and realize that you can get the best deal, the lowest price at the Sooner Bus Company. Now it's time to talk about Miss Black, Oklahoma, and the PAGE program. Our PAGE program has been copied, and this year, throughout the state of Illinois, Mrs. Hunter, they are using the PAGE program. And we have been invited to Canada and to participate in Miss Black Quebec and to participate in the program. They have copied from us.
Oh, yes, I know, because when Joe Green was here, she told me this right up front. And she is from Chicago, Illinois, and she said, now, I'm going to copy this. And the first time she came and she looked on and she said, I got to come back next year so I can get some more, because this is just giving me a sample, and I want to come back to be sure that I have a good sample. And then this year she was back again to be sure that if she put the program on, that it was all in style as we were doing it. And she definitely loved our program because she came down here on her own, and she said, I came down here because I want to see what you all are doing, and then I can go back and copy it. So now if you come to Chicago, don't say that I didn't tell you that I was copying off of you, because they were down here copying, and on top of that, she came in when I was interviewing the judges, and she said, give me one of them folders, because I want to be sure to have my folders made exactly like your folders, because I haven't done it like this. So I'm just happy to do that. So I know they do copy from us, because Oklahoma has some good material.
She was so impressed with the escort program that she also copied that, and next year she will have the full escort program as copied from Oklahoma City. Did you know that the Miss Black Oklahoma pageant gives more prizes than any other pageant in the United States of America?
Yes, Mrs. Luper, because when she was here, she works on the national staff, and she gave us that information. She had a meeting with us, and she told us about all of the states that were participating in the Miss Black pageants, and she told us we were giving more prizes than any other the states that had pageants.
Well, certainly that's quite an honor, but you haven't seen anything until you see this year's pageant. One thing that we've got to make clear as we talk to people, when we tell you that we are giving prizes, we aren't talking about Lady Hunter and Clara, for example. This year, Mrs. Thelma Parks gave a scholarship to the winner, and she gave it exactly when she wanted to give it. When we go out and get scholarships, we can't tell you to give us that scholarship on Monday, and we're very grateful to J.C. Penney's, who gave our girl a gift certificate that was solicited by Mrs. Johnson from Ardmore, Oklahoma. We couldn't tell J.C. Penney's when to give it. And the same thing is true with all of our gifts. And look like anybody that has any kind of sense can understand that.
But Mrs. Luper, these were scholarships. And those persons who came in, because I remember we were at an affair the night that the person from the Paul Quinn College, we happened to be on the table with him. And he said to you, Mrs. Luper, I want to give a scholarship. And we were just so happy that he wanted to share this. And he told us the grounds on which that he would give the scholarship. Now, he's not going to give me a scholarship to go to Paul Quinn College, and I'm going to go to Italy,
That's right.
Italy and take up cosmetology, because it is for his college. And so, and Mrs. Parks, she also said, I want to give a scholarship because she is interested in girls who are interested in advancement. And she told them how she was going to give the scholarship and what the scholarship. And she told them all the stipulations of receiving her personal scholarship. And I want to thank all of those persons who really are interested in helping girls to succeed.
Mr. Carl Corbin has announced that this year he will give a scholarship to some of the contestants, or to one of the contestants in Miss Black, Oklahoma. Now, when we announce that we will give so many scholarships, it doesn't mean that one person is going to get all the scholarships, because as a state promoter, I want you to know that the scholarships will be divided. This is a Clara Luper radio show, and this portion of our show is dedicated to Richard O. Brown, a teacher at Jefferson's Middle School. Richard O. Brown, this is your part of it. As we looked back over the stories that were covered in 1989, probably the most controversial story that we covered was a Tinker Credit Union. We received like 527 calls concerning the Tinker Credit Union. Now, many of you have called and you wanted my opinion. Okay, here it is. Tinker Credit Union to me for some 20 years was more than a well-established union operated by a board. The board of directors